And this is from Margarita Berti, who we're going to hurry and make a co-host while I give this this quick background on them. They're Italian language trainer and content creator for Italian learners. They have a PhD in applied linguistics from the University of Arizona. Currently are teaching Italian online via Instagram, TikTok, and on italianmatters.com. So.
Good morning. Can you see my screen?
Yep, we're good to go.
Okay, perfect. Okay. Hello, everyone. Thank you for being here today. Today I'm going to share how I'm teaching Italian on Instagram and TikTok. And also I will share a guide that I developed during my time at the University of Arizona teaching Italian in social media. And so first of all, I want to define microlearning. What is it? It is a strategy that we can use to break complex topics in short form standalone lessons. And these lessons can be viewed as much as the learners need to view them. The nice thing of microlearning is that they are bite-sized content that we can provide to students, and they can watch them anytime, anywhere. And so if we look at the differences between microlearning and macrolearning, we can see that with microlearning, we have a single concept, a skill that we are teaching, as compared to macro learning, where we are teaching a full course in a classroom. And also with micro learning, jumping back over here, they are usually easily searchable, they're indexed, and we have a variety of modalities. So for example, video, text, learning games. And again, the fact that they are macro, they're short, usually under 10 minutes, and they are driven by the audience. With macro learning, instead, usually we have human instructors, so the traditional teacher in the classroom. We have practice and graded exercises, and it doesn't just take a few minutes to go over the content, but it's usually covered over hours and days. And sometimes we can see that it is driven by the textbook. The reason why I have a question mark here is because I think it depends a lot on the educator and how they decide to conduct the course, the classroom. But with microlearning and what I'm really doing with social media, I'm listening to what learners want to learn about Italian language and the Italian culture. And so here I'm sharing a screenshot of my TikTok account. So the name is Italian Matters, and I have these short bite-sized lessons where I go over just a single concept, and you can search the lessons by topics. So I said that they are indexed. So for example, over here, if I go over the verbs section, I will find the videos that I shared about Italian verbs. And here I have 5 ways to say something, so synonyms, other ways to use the language, not just one option. You can click here and find all the videos that I shared on this topic. And again, I'm responding to what the audience want. So for example, I get comments about when do I use the passato prossimo and the imperfetto in Italian. I have no idea, so I create a short lesson on that specific topic for the viewers to go over and to learn about. And the same is for Instagram. And the nice thing about Instagram is that compared to TikTok, is not just a video-based platform. We can also have images, like we can see over here on the right. I share conjugations of various verbs. In this case, we have the present tense and the past tense, passato prossimo. And what I do with social media platforms, I'm thinking about coming from a place of service. So I'm creating this content, this free content for people to learn. It's not quite OER being shared on social media, but it is free content that people can use to learn the language at their own pace when they want. They can go over the lessons. And there is also interaction going on. So both on TikTok and Instagram, there are comments, people can ask questions and I reply to those questions. And okay, let's go over here. So these are 3 examples of lessons that I shared on both Instagram and TikTok. And so it doesn't just have to be an explanation of grammar or conjugation tables. It can be on a variety of things since we have multiple modalities. So for example, over here, I've been asked, how do you use the word permesso in Italian? We can see it in various situations. And so there is this short video where I explain the 2 main instances where we would use this word. So different meanings for different contexts. In the second video, I'm teaching vocabulary. So the people who view this video can read how the word is written, but they can also listen to the pronunciation. And I try to speak pretty slowly so that it's clear how to pronounce these words. And on the last lesson over here, for example, there is this word in Italian, cucciolo, it means puppy, and we can look at the pronunciation and how the C sound changes in Italian based on the vowel that comes after. We can have a hard sound or a soft sound. And all these lessons are usually under 30 seconds. So they are very, very short, they're bite size. And again, they can be viewed anytime, anywhere, as long as there is an internet connection. Language learners can view this content, and it's free. There is no cost to this. And also, I wanted to share this other resource that I'm doing online, and then I'm going to talk about the pros and cons of this type of teaching and then specific activities that we can use in the classroom. This is a podcast, and podcasts are becoming more and more popular. I think if we look at the online landscape, this podcast is called Italian Grammar Mediesi, and I explain Italian grammar concepts, for example, adverbs, and there is always a PDF guide, and it's free again to download, that summarizes concisely the topic that I discuss in the podcast. And again, it is short content so that we can avoid overwhelm. Only here, for example, 8 minutes, 7 minutes. It is digestible for learners to learn specific topics of the Italian grammar and Italian language. And I've gained a lot of interest. So if I see at the engagement and how people are interested in learning languages on social media, online, with podcast started in October 2021, so about 6 months ago. And I really received a lot of interest. A lot of people are interested in learning the Italian language in this way, with this short form content. But I think it's also important to talk about the pros and cons of this type of teaching. While it enables the anytime, anywhere learning, it's not as detailed as a course. So I don't necessarily think that somebody can just learn Italian by viewing this free content, by downloading the guides and listening to the podcast. We need more structure in the sense, but I think this content can be integrated in language courses to move away from the textbook and to use other type of resources that might be more engaging and more current to what is, for example, going on today in the world. It also avoids overload, it's short form content, but it might not work for very complex topics where we cannot really explain something under 10 minutes or in 30 seconds. It is easily repeatable and accessible. You just need your smartphone and internet connection, and you can find all the content there. But a problem is, for example, technology access. Maybe not everyone has access to a smartphone or an internet connection. And for example, in these specific cases of social media, then they wouldn't be able to use the content. A way to go around this, I think, with language courses, the teacher could take screenshots at home of the content that they want to use in the classroom, and then bring those screenshots, maybe the videos that they download in the classroom where maybe there isn't the internet connection. Risk of microlearning is that it can be fragmented. As I said, it's just small bite pieces of content, it's not as structured as a course, but it is driven by the learner's interest, and that's what I try to do. I listen to what students want to learn, and then I share content based on their interest, and also it increases engagement. I respond to the comments, but I also can see language learners who respond to themselves to the content and try to help themselves with maybe some concepts that they're not understanding. And finally, one last con is that it can be harder to track progress unless you're keeping your own maybe language journal. It's different from the classroom where we can track the progress and we have a specific path that we are following. And now, the way that I see the future of language teaching in my experience, teaching Italian and other languages in higher education, and now teaching on my own Italian online, is that I think traditional textbooks might not fit really the needs and interests of students. So we need to listen to what students want to learn. And I think we can try to adapt the curriculum to what they're interested in. And I think students are also interested in short form content. Students are already on Instagram, they're already on TikTok, so why not integrate these type of resources in the classroom that students likely already use? And so we can maybe try to integrate these resources in language courses. And what I did during my PhD at the University of Arizona was to develop this guide, which is called Social Network Insights for Intercultural Competence. And I will share the link to the guide in the chat. And this is an OER guide where there are specific activities for Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook that we can use to teach intercultural competence, language culture in the language classroom. And along with this PDF guide with activities, there are also videos showing exactly step-by-step how to use these activities with our students. And so an example over here with Instagram is Eportfolios. So on Instagram, we can create collections, which I call Eportfolios here. And we can have, for example, students select a topic of choice with a specific hashtag, a specific research on Instagram for a total of 4 weeks. And they select the topic and then they write a 100-word weekly reflection about the chosen post, and they share the reflection on the LMS along with a screenshot of the portfolio, the topic of the post that they chose. And we can have some guiding questions for reflection. So for example, why did you choose this specific topic about the Italian language and Italian culture? What does this topic tell you about the practices, or how is it different from what you have learned from a language textbook? What are the differences? What are the similarities? And then after 4 weeks of doing this work, of saving the post on Instagram, of doing weekly reflections and submitting them to the LMS, we can have them come to the classroom and discuss these e-portfolios with classmates and what they learn specifically about the topic that they chose. And the good thing about social media and, for example, Instagram here is that it doesn't just fit the face-to-face classroom, it can also be used in online courses. And so on the Circle website, there are all these various activities explained step by steps with videos like this one over here that explain exactly how to go about doing these activities in the classroom. And this PDF guide is free to download with these activities. And this is everything. Thank you. And I'm going to share the link to that site in the chat. Okay, let's see here.
right, thank you very much.
Yes.
We're, some of us who work here in the CLCL were chatting in our group chat about how jealous we are of the amount of followers you have on TikTok. So,
oh no.
good job for you for building a heck of a following on social media.
Thank you. All these people are really interested in learning Italian. That's really what I do. It's just teaching the language and teaching the culture. And there is really a lot of interest. There are a lot of language teachers on social media. And I think in the traditional language classroom, we can take advantage of this. I've done this when I was teaching at the University of Arizona.
Oh,
and,
sure.
And students really, they feel more engaged because they already use these tools in their daily life, and to see them integrated in the classroom, I think it can help the engagement and the interest in the language.
Very cool. Could we pull up the chat, make sure that we're seeing if there are any questions there? No, just looks like people who are loving what you're doing. It looks very cool.
Thank you.